Welcome back to the Old Charles. Today we are diving into a coin that many people have seen but very few truly understand, and that is the United States half-dollar from 1974. This coin may look simple and common, but behind its design there is history, mystery, and even hidden value that could surprise you. So sit back, relax, and let us explore everything you need to know about the 1974 half-dollar and why it still matters today. The 1974 half-dollar is part of the famous Kennedy half-dollar series, which was first introduced in 1964 shortly after the tragic passing of President John F. Kennedy. This coin was created to honor his legacy, and it quickly became one of the most recognized coins in the United States. People saved them as keepsakes, and collectors began to study every detail of their design and production. By the time 1974 came around, the half-dollar was no longer made of silver like the earlier versions from 1964, which contained 90% silver. Instead, the 1974 half-dollar is made of a copper-nickel clad composition. This means it has a core of copper with outer layers of nickel, giving it that familiar silver-like appearance, but without the precious metal value. This change is very important when it comes to understanding the true worth of the coin. The 1974 half-dollar was produced at two main mints in the United States, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Coins from Philadelphia do not have a mint mark, while coins from Denver carry a small D mint mark on the reverse side just below the eagle. Each version has its own level of rarity and demand among collectors. Millions of these coins were made in both locations, which means that most 1974 half-dollars you find today are not extremely rare in circulated condition. A typical coin that has been used in everyday transactions may only be worth its face value or slightly more, usually around $1 to $3 depending on its condition. However, the story changes when we look at coins in better condition. Uncirculated coins which have never been used and still have their original shine can be worth significantly more. Collectors often look for coins with sharp details, bright luster, and no visible wear. These coins can sell for $10, $20, or even higher depending on their grade. Grading plays a huge role in determining the value of a 1974 half-dollar. Professional grading services examine coins under magnification and assign them a grade based on their condition. Coins that receive high grades such as MS65 or higher can be quite valuable, especially if they have strong eye appeal. One interesting aspect of the 1974 half-dollar is the existence of proof coins. Proof coins are specially made for collectors using polished dies and planchets. They have a mirror-like background and frosted details, giving them a beautiful contrast. These coins were not released into circulation and were instead sold in special sets by the mint. A 1974 proof half-dollar can be worth several dollars or more depending on its condition and whether it has been preserved in its original packaging. Collectors often seek out deep cameo proof coins which have an even stronger contrast between the design and the background. These can command higher prices in the market. Another factor that can increase the value of a 1974 half-dollar is the presence of errors or varieties. Mint errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process. This can include double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet errors. Coins with noticeable and interesting errors can be worth much more than regular coins, sometimes reaching hundreds of dollars depending on the rarity and demand. It is always a good idea to carefully examine any 1974 half-dollar you come across. Look closely at the details, especially the lettering, the date, and the design element. Small differences can sometimes indicate a valuable variety that many people might overlook. The design of the coin itself is also worth appreciating. The obverse features a portrait of President Kennedy facing left with the word Liberty above his head and the date below. The reverse shows a heraldic eagle with a shield holding arrows and an olive branch symbolizing strength and peace. This design reflects both history and national pride, making the coin more than just a piece of currency. Even though the 1974 half-dollar is not made of silver, it still holds a special place in the hearts of collectors and history enthusiasts. It represents a time of change in American coinage and continues the legacy of one of the most iconic presidents in history. Many people today still search through old coin jars, bankrolls, and collections hoping to find valuable coins like this one. While most 1974 half-dollars may not make you rich, there is always the possibility of finding a high-grade example or a rare error that could be worth much more than expected. If you are serious about collecting, it is important to store your coins properly. Keep them in a dry, safe place and avoid touching them with bare hands, as oils and dirt can damage the surface. Using coin holders or albums can help preserve their condition and maintain their value over time. Research is also key. Learning about different grades, varieties, and market trends can help you make better decisions whether you are buying, selling, or simply collecting for fun. There are many resources available including coin guides, online forums and experienced collectors who are always willing to share their knowledge. In conclusion, the 1974 United States half dollar may seem like an ordinary coin, but it carries a story that goes beyond its face value. From its historical background to its collectible appeal, this coin continues to attract interest from people all around the world. Quarters and dimes. Because they were more convenient, as a result the half dollar became less common in daily commerce. Even though millions were still being minted each year during 1974, the coins were struck at two major facilities, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Each mint played an important role in producing coins for circulation across the country. The Philadelphia Mint coins did not carry a mint mark, while the Denver coins featured a small D mark indicating their origin. This period in American history was also marked by economic challenges including inflation and changes in currency usage. These factors influenced how coins were produced and used. The half dollar in particular began to shift from a practical piece of currency to more of a collectible item. People started to see it less in their pockets and more in coin collections. Another important aspect of the 1974 half dollar history is the role of the United States Mint, which was responsible for designing, producing and distributing coins across the nation. The Mint also began producing special proof sets for collectors, which included highly polished versions of coins like the 1974 half dollar. These proof coins were never meant for circulation and were instead sold directly to collectors who valued their quality and appearance. The design of the coin remained consistent with the original Kennedy half dollar. The front features the portrait of President Kennedy, while the back shows the presidential seal with an eagle holding arrows and an olive branch. This design symbolized strength and peace and became one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. Over time, the 1974 half dollar became a representation of a transitional era. It reflects the move away from precious metals in everyday coins and highlights how economic pressures can shape currency. It also shows